Okay, let's see. Anything else I gotta do to make this ready? We're pretty good. This doesn't want to be in the sun. Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm starting to see people coming on. So, good Sunday morning. I want to check real quick the battery. Okay, good. We're at 99%. And I am still kind of getting things ready. I've been camping with the big dogs. So let me do a couple more quick things. I know that this is about as professional as I get. Y'all know me. I'll be right with you. I need to put a little sunshade on this window. And, oops, there we go. And for right now, the sunshade is, I put my jacket on that window. Good morning. Who's saying good morning? Midnight Kennel. Okay. And I didn't see the other person's name. Let's see what the other person's name is. And Mojave, how you doing this morning? So, welcome to Simply Live with SimplyLesa, and we're continuing the updates on the Chevy Tracker travels. Man, am I having a good time. You know, all travel comes with coming and going, emotional roller coaster stuff sometimes. And this morning, my close friends, my good friends, that I would call the big dog friends, they left this morning to go on to their next destination. So, and I mean, like, they just left in the last 15 minutes. So I was trying to really quickly, I'm going to talk at you for a minute, but I was trying to really quickly get some things out of the sunshine. And then I can then I can be just a little more interactive with you guys. And oh, look at that view! You get to see out the back of the tracker right now, and so you'll hear my voice for a couple of minutes. I need to go get a couple of more items out of the sun since they just barely left, and I appreciate that you're being patient with me on this. Please remember all the housekeeping things like liking and subscribing, and if you want to help me buy a little more gas or get me some good tasting coffee. The last batch of coffee I had sucked, and I don't know if it was my taste buds or the coffee, but whatever. You want to do that. Don't forget that there's super chats. You can also use my email address, which you can find somewhere out in my stuff. I will try to do better with the descriptions on things over time. Working on the phone, sometimes the space I have is this tiny and it's hard to maneuver. So, oh, the weather here has been wonderful. Let me get right back to you, Mojave, because I need to get this stuff out of the sun. Hang on. Somebody talk to each other for a minute. Say hi. Tell each other where you're from. Okay, now I'm coming back to y'all. I had some food items sitting on the picnic table and I had not gotten them put up before you guys came. All right. So here I am again. Okay. Oh, wonderful in Mississippi from North Carolina. That's a wonderful thing. Okay. And I hope I'm not losing people because of my little maneuvering around just then. But hey, details happen. Crap happens. I'm a very real person. What you see is what you get in all of my life. So yeah, it's the way it is right now. Let's see. I'm going to move this pack of water back here in the shade. That keeps it a little more yummy in the shade and put me out of the sun too. There we go. Now, guys, good morning. Good morning. Any questions you have, even if you think of them along the way, just please do me a favor and put an uppercase Q or 2 or 3 in front of your question so I can see it quicker or more quickly. I do my best. Okay, y'all seeing me do this with my arms up right now. There's a couple of little buttons. I'm going to have to change them out on this blouse shirt. And my hair gets caught in it and then I can't move my head. So right now my hair's caught in a button and I've pulled it as long as I can, and I'm probably going to have to take those cute little buttons off and put some Velcro on there so it doesn't annoy me. So what have I been doing this week? So it's very close to my payday. I'm on SSDI, as many of you are aware. And so my payday is on the 3rd. I had some things happen here in Idaho after I came this direction. Beautiful driving, wonderful trip. I have really enjoyed it. Lots of good friends that I've met up with and reconnected with and whatever, and talked to on the phone because I'm getting better at that. And because of a couple of decisions I made, and they were fine decisions, they weren't not negative decisions, but because of a couple of decisions, my month got ahead of my money. And so I was very low in funds and decided that the smartest thing to do was to find some kind of a comfortable, free camping area, perhaps near water, that would allow me to be a little more comfortable as I waited on my payday. This happens to lots of people. It is beautiful, and this is my first time here. What a lovely place. Some bugs, not horrible. When I was up near Cascade Lake, the mosquitoes were horrible up there. And I, of course, as a tip, I use these little bug bracelets that they kind of advertise for children, and they have citronella oil in them, and you kind of stretch them. And I forgot to turn and I hope that doesn't show on you guys' screen, but I forgot to turn some notifications off this morning. Anyway, but these little things, you put them on your arm or your leg, or sometimes I stick them in my hair, right? But it's citronella, and so I'm not allergic to it or anything. And for me, these work really well. Some bugs, they don't repel, but I haven't had many circumstances where it wasn't helpful. So I used those, and then, I learned when I lived in Central America that oh, really? In Central America, I learned to use the good old-fashioned PICS, PICS mosquito coils. And so those work great too. They're kind of like an incense, and they smolder. And that smoldering, smoky, incensey thing really deters any bugs, in my opinion. Even I've used them for flies. I mean, it's not perfect for flies, but it gives you a little relief from bugs when you don't have much of a mosquito net or something. And I'm not one, I would, when I'm hiking, I would have a head net for hiking, or if I was out fishing, because I remember being a really young child and going to going fishing with somebody like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Might have been my dad. I don't remember. But black fly season in Maine. Woo! Yeah, I would wear a head net. Absolutely. I would wear a hat, even though I don't love wearing hats. I would wear a hat and I would wear a bug net for fishing or something like that. But sitting around camp, that's not very comfortable. Yes, a plant-based DEET. Yeah. Yes, they do have floppy hats with netting. And some of you saw that after my really bad sunburns and heat exhaustion, I was very close to having a heat stroke. But anyways, and I've had a couple of bad sunburns, that I found this hat at a grocery store in Cascade. I think I paid close to $10 for it. But it's actually a good fabric. And because it has the Velcro on the back, I can get it around my pigtail or my ponytail. And it rolls up for storing it. So even though it doesn't really have anything to cover the very top of my head, which is problematic, it is so helpful for helping me not, so I have this, for helping me to not severely blister my lips and my face like I did at the last expo. And yes, if I really needed to, I could put a bandana or something up here. I could put something in this hole so that my head wasn't being quite so exposed. I don't like it this way, and you can't see my face. So, I'm not a big hat person. I do look kind of cool in, but you could do things with this. So I just flip this up. And it has helped tremendously. So yes, floppy hats. Hi, C-Dub. Thanks for being here. C-Dub, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe that you're one of my friend's good friends, and I believe that's Babs. And Babs and I finally reconnected. I was so scared. I'd had an intuitional feeling that something had happened to her, and it had. But she and I were able to actually physically talk. And I am just so encouraged and so grateful that she's still here and we can still talk. And I'm so sorry that she's had a stroke. I can't even imagine what her family went through, because she and her family are pretty close, or close in a different way than some of us. So yeah, I'm just a very casual person. And I was telling the friends that I've just camped with how I never even think to grab a camera. I'm not really a photographer, okay? But I started off years ago wanting my children to be able to know who I was from my perspective, and started like blogging and things. And then it turned into, well, people aren't blogging anymore. Then they were vlogging, which is video blogging, right? And so I started getting accounts for that and things. And then I ended up, oh, thank you about the clear video and all. Oh, hey, TJ Shack. Hi, guys, guys and gals. I'm so glad to see you guys. I was talking about you the other day. Were your ears burning? So yeah, so I've had to stay put. So I did a search for where I wanted to be in order to be as comfortable as I could be without much money, while I kind of waited for payday. And I'm not broke, but like, and I'm pretty honest about things, but whatever. I've got a little bit of, I've got a $20 bill folded up in my wallet, and I could spend it, but I don't want to, right? And but I was getting real low on funds, so I've been here, and I have Wednesday's my payday on the 3rd, because I'm on SSDI, and that's the day that I get mine. So some friends from Overland Expo, the big dogs, had contacted me. And read off quickly, I can't remember. And Unashamed, there you go. Yeah, me too, more or less. But I've had some interesting things happen driving along the road, and I might have mentioned it last week. Normally, when I'm preparing for my live feeds. I go back and watch last week, so I'm not repeating myself ad nauseum. And I often double check any questions people have sent me to see if I can start to answer some other questions. And but because I was camping with someone else, and because they left at 9:22 and I was supposed to be on at 9:30, so it's like my preparation was not quite the same as normal, so I didn't go back and check things. So basically, I'm not ashamed either, but as I've been traveling, I've noticed that I've had this thing that I'm calling emotional muscle memory, because I didn't really get re-triggered with things, or if I did, they were mild triggers or something. But I caught myself thinking or trying to base decisions on things from a viewpoint that I don't hold anymore. And it was like, how come I'm doing that? That's old, and I already know I don't need to do it that way anymore. I don't need to be scared that I'm parking in the wrong thing, because I know where to park. I know where to sleep if I need to stealth camp or something like that. I know where to go. Why am I, doing this thing and acting this way? And then I have my weekly phone therapy with a therapist from the little Colorado Behavioral Health Center in St. John's, Arizona. And my phone therapy with them is vital to my good health and good mental health. And so I checked in with my therapist, and she said, "No, honey, you are absolutely right. That is what's happening, and you are right. You're handling it well. I'd like you to kind of add this other mindfulness thing into your days. I think this will help you." And so that's part of that. Curious about traveling nomadic lifestyle. Do I have solar panels in use? Yes. And people that want to ask me questions, it's helpful to me being as things are scrolling, because I'm using I'm using a cell phone. And so for me to be able to catch it with my older MSIs, okay, if you would please put uppercase Q 1 or 2 or 3 or something, so I can just notice, oh, there's a question, and I can read that one first so I can be answering any questions. So yes, I have a portable solar panel system. And so the solar panels, mine happens to, the one that I'm traveling with right now is a Rock Pals. I'm not in love with Rock Pals, but I'm not in hate with Rock Pals. So please don't take that in any wrong way. I found a couple of things that aren't working well for me and my lifestyle with traveling with this system this way. I may, in the future, I may be changing up the method I'm using. But because these are pretty simple to get and operate, they're all plug and play things. You can also charge them with a cable. I'm reaching for one that's right here. You can also attach a cable that is 12-volt plug on one end, and the other end is the barrel plug that would fit whatever system. In fact, when I sit still, my Rock Pals 300 watt fits on the center console of the dash just right. So I put the shade things in the window so that it won't get too hot. And then I set this, so I've just moved it a little bit. I set this right here, and you guys are on the dash as well. Okay, so, and right now I've got you guys sitting kind of on the dash where my airbag is, and it's a little slant, but I'm using the little tripod, my hiking tripod. So anyway, so 12-volt plug-in. For me, this is the barrel plug I need for mine. This one allows me, when I want, it's short, but it allows me to, when I'm driving, also charge this. So today it's plugged into, it's still the same brand, solar panels, which is I think it's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's 5, might be 4, flip solar panel kit that like folds up and has a handle. And when you unflip it, it has a couple of legs on the back and there's some Velcro involved. But I have a tendency to park with the front of my car in the sun so the back gets more shade. And because of that, I can often just lay them on the slant of the windshield. And then if there's little boy dogs near me, they're not peeing on my solar panels, which is a thing. I don't quite have as much dust sticking to them. But if I need to move them out into the sun, if I need to move them further, the cable, the connector cable is long. I didn't bring it with me. I left it at the cottage, cabin, whatever. I left the extension cord. Okay. Oh, how wonderful about Tracy getting the hammock stand for her trailer. That's fabulous. And I'd love to see a picture. I'd love to have you share that with us. I did not get mine yet. So I went to, did I tell you this already? I don't want to bore you guys, but I have been, wait a minute, let me think a second before I start to say this about the hammock stands, because I'm a hammock person. I was a hammock camper. Love it. Want so bad the McLeans. And Chris from McLean, Chris McLean, who invented these and builds them and sells them now under the website and storefront that is Adventure Hammock Systems. I think it's adventurehammocksystems.com. Chris is wonderful. I went to the factory. I met him. I was exhausted. I feel like I didn't present me very well, but whatever. I mean, people understand. I'd been driving for hours. And whether I presented myself or not, that's my crap, right? But he has offered me a super good discount on being able to get what I want. But he climbed under the car and he looked around a little bit and he said, Lesa, really what I want you to do for you to have the best experience. He goes, you don't have much space to carry things. So what I want you to do, and I had to go away disappointed and think about it. Okay. But he wants me to have a front 2-inch receiver hitch welded onto the car in order to then purchase with the wonderful discount he's offering me, but then to be able to purchase the most expensive of the hammock stands that he has created that lives in the receiver hitch. So when you're driving down the road, it stays right there. And that way I have nothing to bring inside the car with me. And he said, that's what I really want to see you do. And he goes, it's cool. You want to put one on this little car. But I was so disappointed that at first I thought that he was saying something different. So I had to walk away and think about it. I was like, oh, bummer. He thinks I'm too poor to do this. That was my crap, not his, right? But I walked away thinking, oh man, he thinks I'm too poor. He thinks my car is too light, that it's not appropriate. And then I got away from my mind and my own crap. And I went, that is not what he said. So, no, they did not tell me that, Mojave. Oh my gosh. Chris, you have my email or something, Mojave. I don't know how to go about that with you, but if we don't get it, if I don't think of an answer today, sometimes Chris has a lot going on. So there is an email, and I think I got the email after I went out hunting for a way to contact them. And anyways, but we can connect, and so I'm not taking time from other people's stuff here, because I don't know if that's boring to people, but oh, how lovely to get a little help with that. They're giving me a really good deal, but I don't have that money right now because I'm traveling and it costs a little bit more to travel, and I'm doing fabulous. The car's getting my average gas mileage while I've been traveling so far has been 27 to 30 miles a gallon. Yes. And the car's running really great. This tracker is a really wonderful, capable vehicle. I'm learning what I'm comfortable doing with it right now. I cannot wait to get out with some more big dog buddies and start to learn those other parts of things, like going on a sketchy road, but I don't want to do those things alone. And I don't have much experience driving four-wheel drive or putting the vehicle into four-wheel drive. So I'm going to have to, oh, that's wonderful, Mojave. But I'm going to have to, I want to do those things with someone else who has plenty of experience so that those people can assist me and help me if I get in this awkward situation. So let's see back here what we got going on. I saw a couple more questions. Did I miss anything? Yeah, what do we carry for? Yes, Mojave, I remember you said something about wanting to know about maintenance on vehicles. I am a big proponent of doing regularly scheduled, whatever the schedule you need to do, pre-maintenance. There's a better word for that, I'm sure, because my mind is going, there's got to be a better term. But things like, for me, a long time ago, I started on payday, I check all the fluids in my vehicle. I check them to a different degree than I do during the month. I also, when I'm on a long trip like this, I make sure that I check my fluids before, like the night before or the morning of another travel day. So what does that mean? That means that I learned how. And if you don't know how, it's my opinion that it would be a good idea to ask someone to show you how, under the hood of your car, how to check your windshield washer fluid, your coolant, which is antifreeze, your oil, your transmission fluid if you have transmission fluid, your brake fluid. Learn how to check all those things. Some of it is just notice the levels. And if there's a change in the levels, make a note of it and do what you're doing. I keep a little bit of a maintenance log on a note in my cell phone. That's because you used to use paper copies all the time, but I'm really not having any trouble with this vehicle. So there are times, like with the Cherokee, I needed to check that one every single time I went to town because I was having major issues with that vehicle. And so I'm glad I don't. I'm glad that's working for whoever got it, because I don't need to do that thing. So I carry a mini set of tools, but that's because I don't have experience fixing vehicles or pulling wrenches, as they would say. I can do some things. I know where my jack and lug wrench is in my car. I know how to remove them. When I first got it, I took them out, cleaned them up, used it to make sure it went up and down and did what it was supposed to. To me, that's why wisdom, and it might be wisdom of years, but if you know where those things are and you know how to get them out of their slot, and you're capable in doing those things. I personally need to practice changing my own tires. I know how. I've done it, but I haven't had to change a tire in years. Now, also, because I have MS and I've had trouble with balance and balance issues, and I've been paralyzed a couple of times. I also was finally able to add for somewhere like $5 a month more or something like that, $5 or $7 a month more. I was able to add roadside assistance onto my insurance with this vehicle. And so my insurance is right around $50 a month for this vehicle, which is affordable for me. But rather than it being 45 or whatever it was, I was able to add roadside assistance. So in a lot of situations, it's okay. I can allow the roadside assistance to come help me change tires. But I need to practice, because there are places I've been, like when I was driving on the Oregon Trail the other day, and it was 30 miles of dirt roads. And it was fun. It was totally fun. But there were a couple of moments there where I was like, in an anxiety way, patting my chest and going, I hope nothing happens on the side of this hill, because I just learned a term for this kind of road too. I was on what's called a shelf road. So that's one that has, there's a hill, a mountain, right? And they've cut a road so that the hill is here and the drop off is here and the road is here. So they call it a shelf road. And that's a new term for me. So I'm glad I learned that. So now I sound better when I talk to the big dogs, right? But and that's supposed to be funny, people. But anyway, so when I was driving on those, and there was a place where the rain had washed out a part, or the runoff in the winter had washed out a part of the road. It was very narrow. I would have been petrified if I had been in my van. Okay. But in this car, I was able to go around it without any trouble. I didn't even have to get out of the car. But if I'd had a flat up there, or I'd made a mistake and the car slipped a little bit, that could have been a sketchy situation. So I will put myself in situations where I'm with people who do more of those risky things, where I can learn and I can practice more. And I have some friends who are more than willing to help me learn and teach me some of that. And I'm not gonna be a bother to those friends because of the way my personality and the things that I think are appropriate in personal interactions, like being so radically independent. It's like, I'm going to do everything I can to not put me in a situation that I don't know how to fix. But on the other hand, if I'm going to go into a sketchy situation, being able to be with somebody who's willing to show me the ropes a little bit is helpful. And so I want to give you, I'm going to scroll back through. Hi, Iris. I'm going to scroll back a little bit and see if there's any new questions I missed. What type of oil am I using? For this 98 Chevy Tracker, which is a Suzuki product. So in the world of things, it's a Zook or a Zuki, or some places they call them track kicks. Because they were all made by Suzuki. And so my oil is, I think, 5W30. I think it's in the back. I'm not going to go get it out, but I think that's what it is for mine. And do I remember? I think it's full. It's for high mileage cars, and I think it's full synthetic, but I forgot. But it's because my mechanic, when he took this after I bought it, and he kept it for a month and a half so he could work on it at his leisure, which allowed me to not have to pay quite as much for labor cost, which helped with my labor cost. So while he had it during that time, he did not flush. Pay attention to that, please. I did not have him flush my fluids. I had him drain. I'm being really specific about this. So, my Iris, my clock right now says 10:07, but I never changed my phone's clock from my home time in Arizona. So you're lost in Arkansas. My son's in Arkansas. But anyway, so I had one of the things that he did as preventative maintenance. That's the word, preventative maintenance, that he did on this vehicle as he was checking it out because it had sat a couple of years and stuff like that. He actually drained all the fluids and then checked the consistency and the things in it, checking for things like metal shavings or stuff like that. And then he refilled. But if you have it flushed on an old vehicle, then the shops that do the flush, they force with pressure, they force the fluids through, and sometimes it will loosen a seal that didn't need to be loosened. And so I agree with mechanics, and I don't flush, I drain and fill. And so mine was drained and filled, and radiator too, and everything. And so I got all new fluids in it. And so that's why. Okay, but that's part of that preventative maintenance stuff. All right, let's see. Let's see. Yes, sometimes it's nice to, in my van, I had the scissor jack that came with the van, but I added a bottle jack because the van's heavy. And a lot of off-roaders take farm jacks. That's the long red jack that you see on the back of trucks and stuff sometimes. They're, like pickup trucks or Jeeps or things like that. That's because you can put them in an awkward situation on one leg and you can jack higher. So if you're on a rock and something happens and you need to jack yourself over a rock in an off-road situation, it allows you to do some of those awkward things. I don't like them that much because they're a little wiggly. So you got to really know what you're doing and you got to be careful. And so I don't think they're for everyone in the world, but in the right situation, a farm jack is useful. I probably won't have one on this rig because I probably won't need that kind of situation. And I will try really hard not to put myself in a situation where I need it. And if I do get in a situation where I need something like that, I hope that I've been wise enough to be traveling with somebody else who would either have that or would have the capability to help me do the thing I would need to remove myself from a dangerous situation. Whoops. Let's see. I'm going to go back and look a little bit more. Stock checks are useless. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they'll work. Depends on your situation. And, don't forget that a lot of this stuff is a lot of the things that I do. Part of why I'm successful and have so many skills is because I try to learn everything I can learn, and then I try to practice it so that if I was to get stuck, I wouldn't have the problem. But I also try to build in ways to avoid the situation to start with. So I'm going to do everything I can to avoid a flat tire. Okay. And then if I'm in a situation where I can use my roadside assistance, yay, that's why I'm paying for it. Right. And if I'm not, then I do need to practice because it's been a long time. I know I can lift my spare tire. I've already lifted this one, but it's work and it's heavy. And if I was having a bad MS day, I would not be able to. I would have to manhandle it, maneuver it, remember how to use leverage things, but I could. So I would only be so stuck. Loosening a lug nut can be hard. Whatever. Okay, let's see. I want to talk more, though, about camping with the big dogs. I forgot because I was so busy just having a good time with these friends. So it was Jason and Melinda, and I forgot what their Instagram handle thing is. They're on Instagram as something dog. They had a really cool... I'll have to look it up, guys. I don't think they're out this morning. Well, I'm fairly certain they're driving. But being able to camp with them and to have the camaraderie and the we think a lot alike. And when they got here, I don't have my water filtration system with me like I would like. Well, I don't own one right now. When I was hiking before, I would simply use Clorox, which is a way. And I would boil water because I couldn't afford anything else at that time. Was what was going on. It's on my wish list to buy a Sawyer gravity system that will allow me to filter a gallon at a whack or something, to be able to gravity feed filter some water. Well, I'm at a free BLM campsite in Idaho, which, wow, it's beautiful. It's lovely. And there's a creek running all around us. So when they got here, we went down and took baths in the creek, washed our hair. I did my laundry. We filtered water from the creek to fill the water jugs. So I now have, what if I got 4 gallons, 5 gallons of water to get me through until Wednesday. I don't use that much water in a day, but whatever. We did a lot of cool things together, and being able to just sit around camp and have the conversations about where I'm going with my rig. Jason would love to help me, and he's capable, doesn't have all his tools with him, but he's very capable. He would love to help me. And I'm like, yeah, and I would love to have you help me too, but I'm not quite ready. I know some things that aren't working well, but I'm not quite sure how I want to fix them. And I want to make sure that I save some money toward fixing them. One is this solar system thing. It's not working well for me to keep my refrigerator running. Now, I'm not saying that this size battery pack does not run my refrigerator. It does. A 300 watt Rock Pals or a 300 watt battery pack will run the Alpacool C12 refrigerator that I have. What I'm finding, though, is that my 12-volt plug for the refrigerator is not tight in any of the 12-volt outlets. So that there, it will stay connected as long as I don't wiggle something, and then it pops out. And so I have to check that often. And then we had a couple of cloudy days, and we had a couple of days. Oh, somebody asked me about the weather, and I forgot to go back and answer you. But we had a couple of cloudy days, and we had a little bit of rain. Not bad. Couple of, there's lightning in the sky things. Oh, and speaking of the sky, the Milky Way was so clear the other night here. It was so lovely. Oh, are you sure? No, cancel. I just caught the cord with my finger and knocked y'all off the stand. I apologize. Whoa, that was, y'all get dizzy on that one. Oops, I don't think I quite have it tight. There we go. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I didn't mean to catch that with my finger. Anyway, yeah, the Milky Way was incredible the other night. Okay, so now with that happening, what was I talking about again? We were able to just sit around, and I kept saying to Jason, I know you're a guy, and I know your tendency is to want to just fix it right now. But I need to have somebody to bounce my ideas off that has the skill and capability to do these things, so you could give me advice about, would this thing be possible, or why would it maybe not be a wise idea to do this particular thing over that particular thing. So he was able, it was a challenge for him, but and I think it would have been for lots of guys, it would have been a challenge, but I was so grateful that he was able to take the challenge on and just listen and be able to say, oh, that's a fantastic idea. We could do this and we could do that and we could do the other thing. And I was like, great. Now I'm adding them to the list, but I'm not ready to do it because I'm not quite sure what I want. But, with some thought, I'll be able to finagle what I really want. And I think you see this in other videos, like Michael and Corey from Overland Bound, when they were designing their kitchen with their origami kitchen with Parnell. Parnell kind of did the same thing with them. And when they were at the stage that they could, then they built a mock-up out of cardboard and made it work so that they could visualize and see and get that hands-on, reality of what this might be before they built it. And so then Parnell helped them. I guess Parnell built it. Their origami kitchen. I love theirs, and on their rig, what a beautiful thing. That wouldn't work for me the same because I don't have any way to carry the size of a jerry can, which is what their kitchen was built for. So they had jerry cans of gasoline and things on a mount on the back of their vehicle. And so their kitchen is designed to take the same space as a jerry can. And for them and for many people, that's going to be wonderful. Mine's going to be different. Of course, my little rig is very small. So we have that. I am grateful that I can sleep inside this rig. And yet, the other day, somebody was leaving this campsite. They had been living out of a Prius for 3 months. They had come from California. They had never slept in a car before. They were used to a kind of upscale life. And I met them here at this particular campground, which is a free BLM campground near Porticello, Idaho. And so I met them here and they were like, this has been so hard. And I finally got an apartment. Well, since that's what they wanted and that's the direction that their life is taking them, how cool they've had the experience so they can see another side of life a little differently. I think that's important. But he gave me a tent. Now, let's see. I have you guys on the WeBoost. And so I can't... How far can I take the cord if I unplug the batteries? The battery is well charged. I put my hand in front of the camera. I apologize, but live feeds, we're getting what we get. Let's see. And how far can I take this? I can't take it very far. So let's see. Maybe the best way for me to do this is to lift the jacket up that I have shading this window from the sun. Can you guys see that? You could see some stuff on the picnic table, and I imagine that you can see a lawn chair and the little Ozark Trails red and yellow tent over there. So now I'll bring you back over here, and we'll try to let's see. I'll try to show you a little more of the general area, but because I've got you hooked WeBoost, there's some fantastic mountains here. I saw the paw prints of a mountain lion or a bobcat. I think it's a mountain lion because I think they were too big for the bobcat. And there's a pit toilet real close to me. That, empty campsites, when you come in, you first come, first serve kind of stuff. So now I'll bring you back inside. Yes, there's Melinda and Jason brought me bottled water. That was so sweet. And the back of the car right now. So anyway, so this guy was, had been in his Prius and finally so excited that he got in an apartment because it's what he wanted. And, I say that all the time. You do you, right? So he's doing him. I do apologize for shaking you around a lot. But he was breaking down his camp to leave, and he gave me the tent. And someone else gave me the lawn chair because it's broken. My blue lawn chair that was comfortable but was too long to carry in the car. Wow. The blue lawn chair ended up staying with the friends up near Cascade because, not meaning to, I sat in one of their not great lawn chairs, one of their old lawn chairs, and it accidentally broke. And rather than walk away and have somebody feel bad that I'm not being responsible, the chair was a little too long to carry in here comfortably. And I was like, you know what? Why don't you just take my chair? And then there's no reason for you to feel like I've been a not good guest. I don't know how to say that better. I think leaving things better than you found them is good. And so in that particular circumstance, I was leaving it better than I found it. So somebody else was leaving and they were like, well, hey, this chair's not in good shape. It's not going to last long. And I'm like, I have plans to buy a chair. There's a nice, it's a little more low slung, but there's a nice chair that folds up in a package that will fit better in my build. I got some work to do here. And so, and it's only $20 on Amazon. My friends from Argentina. No. What's the other? Not Chile, not Argentina. Okay, one of those countries down there in South America. My friends that I apologize if they're on here or they see this later. But anyway, they had them at the expo, and they encouraged me to check them out, and the fact that they were only $20. So that will fit in my build as I finish up. So, or finish up as I go forward, because all these build things, whether it's a no build like I'm famous for, or whatever, if it's practical, if it's Legoland, or if you want all the big toys you can get your hands on, it's all a work in process, because we change, our experiences change us, and we realize, hey, I thought I was going to need that thing, I don't need it at all. But you know what, that other thing, when I'm in a situation where I'm with other people, I need that. And like in this situation, when I'm waiting out payday and I'm not without water, but I could have been without water had I had my own water filter. I could have filtered my own drinking water from the creek. And I was so grateful that when Jason and Melinda showed up, they had one. And so they carried water up the hill, and we just let it keep running all day long. And I'm such a photographer, I forgot to take pictures of that. Like, I was too in the moment. And sometimes that's the way I am. And I think that's why I know I'm not a photographer, because it's more important for me to have the experience than to grab a camera. When I think about, and a camera being my phone, right? And so when I think about it, I do, but sometimes I don't think about it until afterwards. And then trying to recreate it for something, I feel like it's a little fake and phony, and it doesn't always work the same. I wish I had filmed my making breakfast this morning. Making breakfast for one, using sterno, and being able to get a cast iron griddle to be hot enough so your eggs do the good egg sound, sizzle. And it would have been great to have had that on video. So I got plans that I need to put it on video, but that means I'm going to have to set it up, and I'm going to have to, someday I will get this process improved. But being able to sit around in camp with Jason and Melinda and hash over ideas that I've had, because some of I'm quite the idea phobe, and I get the small space thing really well. I am so much more comfortable driving this vehicle than any others. I'm so much healthier when I live 75% of my days outdoors. So the little tent that I have been sleeping in it for a few days. I really am enjoying being closer to the air when I'm sleeping, not like it's any big deal. I think I want to continue having a tent so that if I wanted to hike in camp, or I want to save a campsite to drive away from, like if I wanted to go to the store and come back to the campsite, or if just as an option to be able to switch it up once in a while. Of course, I want to do that with a hammock stand too. We know that, but having this little option, even though this little tent, I had to wash it really good. He'd had a dog in it, and so I scrubbed it good, but because I'm allergic to dog hair and stuff. But it has some little tiny holes in the screen. It's not a problem. If I really wanted to, I could stitch them up with some black thread. I just haven't, because I haven't. I've been busy. So let's see. What would you all like to talk about a little more? Let's see. Columbia. Oh, no, it wasn't Columbia. I can't remember which. Yeah, roadside assistance often is very, yeah, sorry about the Dramamine thing. Yeah, roadside assistance really does sometimes really depend on the company's rules about how far off a road they will go. And, you know, a few feet or none, right? But in those situations, if I was on the highway and had a flat tire, I would probably use roadside assistance because I wouldn't want to be nervous about can I break the lug nuts loose and get my tire down safely on the side of a highway. You get that. So, okay. So, do you want to hear about? I think you do. But do you guys want to hear about the kinds of ideas we tossed around for new things for me to do to my rig? I'm so comfortable sleeping in this car. I love having the options I have now. Yes, I have plans for my shoes are wearing out, so I need to get a new pair of Jumbra shoes off of Amazon, but I don't know where to send that yet. Along my road, I may have to wait till I get closer to Loveland, Colorado, which is the next big stop off point. Well, that's where the next expo is that I'm going to teach at. And so I wear barefoot shoes, and the Jumra women's barefoot shoes were the best price I could get to get Vibram soles. The Vibram soles, even in the desert, are lasting me 2 to 2.5 years. So, um, so I need to get a new pair of shoes because they are so thin, and so that is a kind of high priority. It's taken a priority for some of my money this month. Need to make sure that I'm going to be able to safely get the rest of the way over to Colorado. It's not that much more gas, but I'll be careful with that. Of course, I have to pay my normal things, and of course, I'm still paying. I'm not debt free right now, which I am disappointed in myself for, but that's the way it is. That's my reality. So let's see. We've talked about I need to the platform thing I built in the back of the tracker. I built it the way I did because when these seats fold all the way backwards, then there's about a 5-inch part of the headrest lays on top of the higher rear portion of the body of the car is higher. And so the headrest lays on that. And so where the headrest lands, it's 5 inches to be even with the top of the headrest. And then, I just fill in some, uh, well, anyways. So when Shane and I were working on a platform to bring, that last 21 inches higher, um, then that last 21 inches of space, we used something I had. Oh, thank you, Mary. I really appreciate that. I so appreciate that. If there's anything special I could answer for you or anything, I'd be more than happy to do a special. But whatever. These are Joomra, Joomra, off Amazon. I pay about $39 for them. And they're lasting me between 2 and 2.5 years a pair. And the next time I want to get the charcoal color, because they have a charcoal color. I've had lots of different ones. I prefer this style closure. They have one that has Velcro, but my instep is wide. Not down here, but my instep's wide, and the Velcro barely touches, so it's not worth it to me. And that was their old style. But love these shoes. I live in these shoes. And in the winter, I found that I can get the Zero shoes inserts, insulated inserts. They have Mylar inside as a layer inside the inserts that keep them warmer. And so I can put the Zero shoe inserts in these and then wear wool socks that if my feet get wet, my feet don't get cold because wool is like that. And that works really well. So that's another tip on barefoot shoes. I would love to have a pair of the leather boots from Lems in Colorado. I don't know I know that's not happening this month because of the things I've got to do, but I would like to go visit the Lems factory or something when I'm up there. I'd also like to go visit Tayson from Outdoor Vitals. I love their little company. Okay, so yes, also known zero drop, minimalist, or barefoot shoes. The premise of the shoes is that you're walking as natural as you can, as if you were walking barefoot on the ground. Unfortunately, in Arizona, there's lots of prickly things, so I needed a little more protection. So I found shoes that would help with that. Back to things with the car. Okay, so Shane and I have one hiking pole. I need to get a set. I have learned, I've been using it more because I'm in a very kind of mountainous, hilly situation and walking. I did a little bit of hiking. I didn't take a long hike, but I did mile and a half the other day, something like that. And so I'm going to need to have a set. One's not enough. But I've also been using this as an awning pole until awning poles are higher up on my priority list right now. So there, I will have to purchase awning poles Wednesday at one of the sporting goods stores in town. And in this area, they've got a Dick's, a Big Five, and a something else. So I'm hoping they have an adjustable awning pole. So I'm digging around in the back, yes. So that's that wonderful linen meditation cushion somebody was getting rid of, I think Pixie. And I think I got that from Pixie. I think that helps make my bed more comfortable. So here's the platform. Can you see that? I think you can. This is the platform that Shane and I made to raise. Okay, it's caught on a piece of elastic right now. We made this to, okay, there. I think I can pull it all the way up and out so we can talk about it. We made this, you might recognize the shape. We made this out of one of those $15 Walmart tables that had a metal frame on it. And it's not quite deep enough. I need it, so the space that I have to fill in and raise up 5 inches is 21 inches wide by 40 inches long. And that would fit side to side in the back. When I first started off and I had the plywood build in here, we had gone all the way across, but it was 6 or 7 inches high, or 8. I think it was 7.5 inches high. And when I was in that windstorm in Sholo, with all the sand blowing and everything, and I had to be inside the car for days, I couldn't sit up inside the car with my head straight up. I had to do this for 5 days. And I was like, that's enough of that. It's too tall. I can't handle this. It was a nice space. It kind of felt good, but nah, not if the weather's bad and I got to be inside. So when it was appropriate and I was able to, I was near Shane, and we took everything out of the car and I cleaned the car again, and it was like, let's start over. And Shane actually like pushed me with that one, because I kind of showed up going, I don't know what to do, and I'm a mess, and I need to think, and I need to shower, and I need to think, and so I took a shower and got some sleep, and then pull everything out, clean it out, and then walk away from it, think about it some more. Yeah, it worked okay. And then Shane and I took this table, which I happened to have with me at the time, and we took the base off of it, and then we went to a hardware store and we bought a short length of ABS pipe, and we bought these caps that fit the ABS pipe, and some nuts and washers. This one, yes, is bent, but this made a really lightweight, super lightweight, I don't know how much it weighs, but super lightweight platform with 4 legs that is just at right about 5 inches. So that with a little bit of cushion on top of here, or pillowy thing on top of here, then it creates a pretty soft bed to lay on. And I put my camp mat on top of it, and then my sleeping bag and whatever. Well, it's not going the whole space of the car that it's not filling in as much of the space in the car as it could. And so one of the things I am planning to do this coming week, payday's Wednesday. So one of the things I found out that there is some kind of a restore here. I'm not sure if it's Habitat for Humanity, but I'm going to go check them out and check out thrift stores. And I'm going to hunt for, it doesn't have to be plastic or whatever. This is plasticky and very lightweight. It's working. It's not bending in the heat or anything like that. If I could find something like this, I'd do it. But if not, it could double for a table. Yes. And it has a couple of times. I didn't remove it from the car to do, but it could. But what the goal I'm aiming for next, as one of the next first big things, is I'm going to use this same leg system because it works. But I need to add 2 more legs, not to this piece, but I'm going to need to add 2 more legs. So it will end up with 6 legs. And 2 of the legs can be a little narrower pipe. They don't have to be this wide. This takes a lot of the weight, but there's not much weight. It's mostly my shoulders. And so, yeah, for movie watching. Yeah. Although, to be honest, my laptop fits really good where my Rock Pals is right now. And, but I don't know how long I'm going to be able to continue using the kind of system of, I don't know. You've heard me all go back and forth ad nauseum about how working with a cell phone and not a computer and all of that, such a, yes. And when it's Iris, it's vital when you're in a micro vehicle situation or a micro apartment situation. It's really almost vital that each thing you have has more than one purpose. It really is that you can multi-purpose lots of things. So the goal is for me to go to the restore first, and perhaps I'll find an interesting tabletop that I can cut to make a bigger one of these and add 2 more legs to it. And I'll use the same leg system because it fits in the back of that higher back of the car has ribs in it, just like a pickup truck does. And these fit in my ribs. So it doesn't move, it doesn't wiggle. So what I'm aiming for is finding some lightish weight, 3/4 of an inch-ish thing that can become my new platform top, but that will be 21 inches by 40 inches and go all the way back across the back of the car. Then you ask me, so what are you doing with the rest of the space? So then the goal, I was able to measure on Jason's truck. I was able to measure his recovery tracks. Recovery tracks are plastic. Like a brand name of recovery tracks, so you have an idea what I'm talking about, is, yes, maybe shelving. I don't know yet. I'm going to go look and see what's available in like a restore and a thrift store situation first. If I can't find anything else, then I'll go to a hardware store and I will buy a piece of plywood that's about this thick and I will finish it so it's neat. So this will go all the way across the back of, all the way across side to side, and then it will fill in up to the headrest when it's laying down. And so now I have, I don't know, 2 or 3 extra inches in width, and it's more consistent with the size. It'll be even more useful. So then I measured Max Tracks with Jason and Melinda. They had them on their, their recovery tracks. Max Tracks is a brand. Max Tracks are very expensive. I can't afford those. I'm looking for a cheaper set. I'm looking for a set that perhaps has been used because we might need to cut a few inches off the end of somebody's max tracks. I mean recovery tracks. But I want a set of 2 recovery tracks because of sand and mud and snow and other things. But I want to go to Baja this winter. And even in the area of which well I'm in, there are places where there's a lot of sugar sand, and I've had my vehicles close to stuck. I've been with somebody else in their 4-wheel drive diesel pickup truck, and they buried the axle, and we had to, well, it took us hours, but we got them out. And they didn't have any recovery tracks. If they had recovery tracks, it would not take that long. Yes. So as I was throwing ideas around with Jason, and we're talking about the things that are working and not working, and as you use them, that's how you find out what works for you. But anyways, and so we decided, and I'm going to use this as kind of an example. When I put the platform in the back, this passenger side of it will be an extension of my bed, like where my head and shoulders lay when I'm sleeping. The other side, up against the other wall, this side will most likely have my refrigerator sitting on it, my Alpacool C12 refrigerator. Underneath, there's enough length behind my driver's seat to the back door for a set of recovery tracks underneath. And so I'm going to need 2 more legs. So I will strategically place the 2 more legs to help with this. But I can put the recovery tracks in like where my arm is right now, where I'm sliding my hand in and out. And they will not touch, but be close to the back of the driver's seat where it's adjusted for me to drive. And when I stop to cook, I can slide them out, and I can put a baking sheet on top of them, which is metal, to keep the heat from bothering the recovery tracks, and have another space to work or cook or whatever, or a cutting board. But I'll be able to slide them out and use them as table space. And that way I have recovery tracks, and I don't have to mount recovery tracks on the outside of my vehicle, which is a little bit problematic in this particular tracker, because as you can see, originally, originally, this was a soft top tracker when it was brand new. And so whoever had this before me or before them, they had put on this removable fiberglass rally top. And I'm not planning to remove it anytime soon. But the point is, you can't really attach things to this in a safe way. So in order to do things like put cargo baskets on the roof, like lots of overlanders do, I would have to, because of the way this vehicle's made, I'm seeing things in my peripheral vision. I would have to build like an external roll cage to support those things. We're talking way too much money, adding weight to a vehicle that gets good gas mileage. And in my life, I need to keep my gas mileage really good. So I'm so appreciative of what I've got going on for gas mileage that I don't want to do that kind of a build. I do want to put some lights on the front, and of course I want to do the receiver hitch on the front and the receiver hitch on the front of the truck, and the hammock stand and some lights. And in talking with Jason about ideas of how to do that, I was like, I know it's a plastic bumper, but behind it, some pretty good, my frame is good on this. This actually is a truck, not a car. I mean, it has some serious like steel under there. It's not a unibody thing, and it's not plastic. And so, yeah, it's not, it's not a monster truck thing. But because of that, I was like, can't we somehow, LED lights are so lightweight and everything, can't we somehow like just cut into the plastic of the bumper and mount extra lights for like lighting up off-road driving, or they call them ditch lights. Can't we do? And Jason was like, absolutely, that's a real simple thing. I was okay, well, now I need to plan it out, because I need to make sure that once the hammock stands on, when you're driving and the hammock stands on, that it's not in the way and you can do this. Yeah, a winch would be nice, and I only need a lightweight one. I could get like an 3,000 to 5,000 pound one from like Harbor Freight. It wouldn't even cost much. That could be put on the front, but I watch my weight so I keep my gas mileage. And I just don't want to overdo it. And winches take power too. And I could just use a come along if I have a place to store one. All that being said, I'm not trying to put myself in a situation where I'm going to need it either. But unless I'm with somebody who's a little more capable than me, would help me with that. So being able to throw ideas around and talk them out and go, okay, well, now that that's possible, I'm not ready yet. I need to save money. I need to figure out which thing I really need. And then I need to do some sketch work and figure out, how is this aesthetically going to look, and will it make me happy too? Because that's important just as much as anything else. So Wednesday, I'll be going and hunting for something lightweight to do this platform, because I don't want to show up at the expo in Loveland, Colorado, without this stuff back together the way I like it. And so I'll be doing that. I'll be going to Walmart and asking them how to order something and have it sent to another Walmart so I can pick it up. And then I would be able to order the lawn chair I want and have it sent to Loveland areas Walmart, so that when I get there, I could have the new lawn chair. This one's not going to last long that I've got, but it's fine for a little bit. And the platform's going to be more important. Well, he might be making sure that he gets. You can make yourself get harassed by the police. You could set it up so that'll happen. And if that's helping him make money on his channel, that's probably why he's doing it. But I have had one encounter with a national park ranger in the Payson area. I don't remember which of the three parks it was. I had one encounter with a policeman in Petersburg, Virginia. And one encounter with a Walmart security person. None of them were problematic at all. And I think it's the way you react to people is what you're going to get. And if you want, because it gets you views on your channel and that way you make more money or something. If you want to have a bad reaction, go, what are you doing? And no, I'm not giving you my driver's license. Whatever. If you act like that, you're going to get that right back. I didn't have those experiences. I did have in Petersburg, Virginia. Now we're talking probably 2014. Don't hold me to that. But I was there. There was a tornado in the area, and Petersburg has been hit by a tornado before. I was going to visit a relative, and I never did because I went shopping at Target. And I went in the Target. The lights went out. The lights came back on, and there's a intercom thing with the person who owns the blue van in the parking lot with South Dakota plates. Would you please come to the front immediately? I went to the front immediately. I'm the person with the van. What's going on? There's a cop. He goes, you have that silver stuff in your windows and your license plates are from South Dakota? You've got 10 minutes to get out of my town. And I'm like, I have a relative here and I'm shopping. And he goes, I don't care. leave your basket. You've got 10 minutes to get out of my town. And I left. I mean, I asked him why. I was very, very respectful and kind. And I was like, I'm sorry that you feel this way. And he told me some about how he thought anybody with that silver stuff, reflectix, in windows, he thought that they had to be homeless. And South Dakota plates meant that you had something to do with Native people, and something else were the comments. And I just was as kind as I could be. And I said, yes, sir, I will leave your town. I will be gone and as quickly as I can. And of course, I left. I felt bad about it. I was like, there's nothing I can do. At that time, I probably mentally wouldn't have been at the stage I am now to say, hey, that was really that guy's problem and not mine. It affected me, but I actually was just like, I know to be careful, and I know to just take a deep breath and change my plans, and it's okay. The Walmart parking lot interaction with the security person was about, I didn't see any no camping signs. It did not have signs that would say parking only allowed for 24 hours or whatever that new sign is, right? Didn't say that either. But it did say there would be security cameras. And I was like, okay, well, no big deal. I'm just going to climb in and go to sleep. They're going to know, and then I'll be gone in the morning, no big deal. And about 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and this is post-COVID stuff. So things have changed a little, and it's okay. So I climbed in to go to sleep 11:30 at night. I didn't realize they closed that Walmart. And he came around and knocked on the door, and he said, I saw you turn over. He goes, you can't stay. And he goes, are you homeless? We can send you where homeless people go. And I was like, no, I'm not. I just was traveling and I'm tired and I just couldn't go anymore. And he's like, well, I still need you to go. But I tell you what, this is where you could go. And I said, can I have a few minutes to wake up? And he goes, yes, but please don't take too long. And he went on doing his duties, but he was watching me. And when I left, he waved goodbye and he was nice about it. But it's a little bit my fault for not double checking, but it's all good. It's all good. He's doing his job. I don't mind. I'm glad he does his job. And I don't remember. Oh, the other park ranger thing, that was before I started going up to Witchwell to the property, and before I bought my property. But this young, I'm gonna say 20-something female park ranger kept changing jobs that summer, and there's a lot of national forests that all are close to each other in that general Payson area. And so a couple of weeks she's had a job with one, a couple of weeks later she's got a job at another one, a couple of weeks later she's in a third one, and she's seen me and my dog in each place. And she finally started harassing me a little, but she saw me making coffee one morning, and I had a shelf on the door of my van, and I'm allergic to propane. So I was using an Esbit tablet inside a baking dish with a pot stand and a windscreen and my little tea kettle. And she was like, you can't do that. And I said, actually, I think I can. I read the rules, and if I read the correct rules, I think it's okay. And it was that kind of an interaction. She was like, no, it's not, and I'm giving you a ticket. And I said, I would prefer that you go ask your boss if I've done the right thing. And when you come back in the morning, I'm okay with you telling me to leave and that you don't want me using that kind of fuel. But I want you to prove to me that this is... and I was scared because my anxiety and standing up to somebody, that's not my habits. And from my past, it's a little scary for me to do that at that time. And I was like, look, I'm not bothering anybody. It's just me and my dog in my van, and it's okay to be camping here, and I'm not overstaying my stay. And she says, but you can't live in the forest, and I've seen you 6 weeks in a row. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going in for, I was doing dog training with Ozzy, and it took 6 or 8 weeks, whatever it was. And so I would come and go from the area and end up back there next Wednesday for class, and then I would go back out and be gone for a week. And then and she was like, I just keep seeing you, I know you're living out here. And I'm like, I'm training my dog, and it doesn't, you don't get to assume, but it worked out. She did get ugly about it, and she tried to give me an $80 ticket, and I couldn't afford it. And I just said, you know what? I know sterno is safe in a fire ban, and so I just switched to using sterno. And she still was mad because she couldn't give me a ticket, but and then I moved on because I finished up training enough with Ozzy, so I moved on. But she was an annoyance enough that it was like, I don't want to go back to class. I'm gonna have to deal with her again, but it's minor. These things, it's no worse than your neighbor's mad at you because you mowed the lawn at 10 o'clock and he likes to sleep till 2 in the morning. 2 in the afternoon or something. It's a silly interaction thing. It doesn't have to be that bad. More stuff on the car. I'm designing some really cool things that have to do with my kitchen to make it a more simple process, because I find that I'm really enjoying the whole Legoland idea of, in this situation, I can do this. And when I'm at Expo, I can do that thing with it. And when I'm near a picnic table, I can just grab the whole thing and go over there and do what I need, instead of having to go in and get the olive oil from here and the salt from there, then the sterno cans, and then the little stove. And then I can just pick up a thing and go over there and start. And then the food's in another place. And so I'm working on that. I think in the future, I don't know when I can afford to do this, there's enough space in my engine compartment for us to put a smaller AGM battery, house battery, so that an outside connector like they would put on an RV, so I can open a little cap and plug my solar panels in and have that wired up for when I'm driving, it's automatically getting charged. I may have a switch I have to flick or something. That was a wasp, in case you can't see that. And so I don't know when I can afford to do that job, but that is a job that I'm going to do. And that will then that will alleviate all these extra pieces, and it will alleviate one of the functions of these battery packs, which I love. Don't get me wrong, they work wonderfully, but it will alleviate the fact that when the compressor in the refrigerator shuts off and doesn't need to run, then the battery pack itself, yes, I'm touching it, it's right here beside you all, then the battery pack can't sense anything being plugged in and working. So to conserve energy, it shuts it off. And so that shuts off my refrigerator. So then it's like I'm always having to check that plug's plugged all the way in and that the battery pack didn't shut itself off. So having a house battery wired up and a charge controller and all that stuff. But that's an expense. I haven't even started to do the research to find, I haven't measured the space. So I haven't done the research to find out what that cost is going to be when that happens. I haven't even checked yet, but it will be a smaller, not a regular engine size battery. It'll be a smaller, and I want it to be a sealed AGM, so I don't have to do battery maintenance because I don't like that process. And I'm in Arizona, water evaporates. And I don't have the kind of budget to do a lithium battery or something like that. So let's see. So the house battery, for what's the word I want to use? Like my vehicle is the foundation, and we got my foundation working good, and it works really well. So now I need to add to my foundation thinking house-wise, right? Need to add to my foundation the 2-inch receiver hitch on the front that will allow the hammock stand to live there. I need to change, and I'm not sure how that's what process that needs. I have a class 1 hitch on the back, which is recommended for this vehicle for towing. I'm not going to tow with this. I love this car. Let me just say that a few more times. I love this truck. I love this truck. I so love this truck. It's capable. I can afford it. I love this truck. I'm not uncomfortable driving it. I love this truck. So the class 1 hitch in the back, either because it's class 1, it's a 1 1/4 inch receiver. There's hardly anything made except for bike racks. Hardly anything, unless somebody knows where to get more accessories that I haven't found, for 1 1/4 inch receiver hitches. So we would like to, yes, this shutoff is typical of all power packs, because they have the charge controller and everything inside of them, and they're trying to protect the battery and the electronics from either heat or from unnecessarily having things plugged in and not being used. And so, yes, they have a safety shutoff. Sometimes there's a little caution thing that comes up and blinks at you. And yeah, they all have a thing that a fan will come on if it's getting too hot, and it'll have a little caution thing flash at you, or red flashy lights if something's not working right. So yeah, they have automatic shutoffs on them. So back to the receiver hitch things and my foundation of my little travel home, micro off-road rig. So I also want a 2-inch receiver hitch, a 2-inch receiver on the rear as well for accessories. I don't want to tow with this vehicle. It's possible I could. I'm most likely not going to. But anyway, and a 2-inch receiver hitch would allow me to have more accessories. Like if I wanted to put some kind of a hitch haul basket back there or something, it would be nice to have. I'm going to take a look at that in a minute, Iris. So those 2 things are pretty major as a foundational thing before I go much further with other stuff. Like that would be a priority over switching out my radio so I can have the Kenwood whatever that has the Garmin mapping system. I mean, yeah, I want one of those in my dash, but no. First I've got to do the receiver hitches. And then I think the receiver hitches first, because it allows me a lot of stuff. And then your system may run different from mine, but having that safety built in is a good feature. And then the house battery thing, because that will free up all the cords and extraneous things of that nature. And the house battery should allow my refrigerator to run more efficiently and not have the problem of it shutting itself off. So those will be the basic things that I will be trying to get done, probably as higher priority things. And then, of course, there's the cool, how do I use this thing on the outside of the car as well as the inside when I don't really want to have a table and I'm going to have the pull out, the slide out recovery tracks with a little tabletop I can set on those to use for more kitchen workspace, right? And then how do I best maneuver this thing? You're getting my drift, right? Oh, yes. I agree with you. I think that's Mary. I agree that if you have a lithium system, you might prefer your fridge running off your house battery system rather than your battery bank. And then use the battery bank for if you've got an Alpacool C12 like I do and it's little and you want to take it out when you're at some campground situation and there's a picnic table and you want to set it under the picnic table in the shade and get it out of the car for a minute. Well, you could use the battery pack over there to run it. And that would just give you an extra option for, when you want to or something. I think that that's wise. If you're running a refrigerator off a battery pack, you're going to run into more little glitchy safety things. It's not horrible. What I did was, mine is a tiny, you've seen it. Mine is a teeny tiny refrigerator, but I went ahead and got a couple of those lunchbox icy pack things that with the blue ice in them that are like 99-cent ones. And I just stuck them in there and a couple of extra water bottles so that if it did shut itself off and I didn't catch it for a minute, that bye Mojave, nice to see you. Have a great week. Then those little cooler packs will help keep it a little more cold until I catch that it shut it off, because it's not that long. I check it a lot when it's running right now. It'll be nice when it's wired up to a house battery and I won't have to check it as much. That will just be a relief. So I think that's a good move, Mary, based on my experience and my years of watching other people. I think when you get ready to, if you can get it wired into your house battery system, that it'll be less problematic. The other thing, I guess I put it on my wish list that I really like this Slumberjack Roadhouse. It's a tarp tent thing for the back. It's a tarp for the back of a Jeep or car. Okay. And I really like it, but the steel poles and the package that it folds into when it's all said and done and you have to store it is too big and heavy for me to justify giving it the space in my car. Now, I'm smart. I'd already thought about things similar, but since I've now seen that and thought it over quite a little bit, I think where I'm going to aim with the tarp extra room, and especially as on hot, in the hot weather, in the heat, and at things like expos where, I got so sunburnt that last time because I didn't have things quite together. What I've decided to do for now, I'm going to make my own version of that, which is not a big challenge at all. I can sew in things at the cabin, cottage, studio. Okay, I'm switching to calling it a cabin on my property. The dry cabin on my property. I have a little mini sewing machine, and it's good enough that I can, I'm pretty experienced with sewing machines. I could borrow one. The wish list is on Amazon, and you just use SimplyLesa, or you use my email address, which is simplylesa@gmail.com, to find me on there. And I do need to go in and update that, just FYI, because I need to update it. There's a bunch of stuff that's not there. There is a fire extinguisher in there that I would like to have that's not very expensive, but I haven't got that yet, because I think having a fire extinguisher in a car is probably a good idea. I have baking soda, but that's for the kind of cooking I do. That would work. And water works if I'm using an alcohol hiking stove, but you have to make sure the stove is not where you would just, anyways, there's a process, but anyways, so, but a fire extinguisher wouldn't be a bad idea. And there's this little one anyway. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, and I need to put some more things out there. The stuff that I'm always thinking about, like lots of us, I let that go into a private wish list thing where I'm like, I wonder if that would be good. And I just heart lots of things and they go out there. And then every few days I go in and I go, oh, what was I thinking? Get rid of that, get rid of that. So I don't want to do that to you guys. So, but I periodically need to go in and just double check that things are working well. Sometime this week, I'm going to spend some time at some kind of a coffee shop with free Wi-Fi where I can use my computer and do some more work. So let's see. So I was looking at this Lumberjack Roadhouse. Love it. Just not putting, I don't know how many pounds. It's okay. It's okay, TJ. Yeah. I get distracted. It's part of who I am. Let's see. So, yeah, I'm turning around a little. So the Lumberjack Roadhouse. What I think I'm planning to do is, well, first off, because I'm dealing with the shade as an issue, and this silver tarp that I've had for a long, long time. It's on the roof right now, but the silver tarp I've had works wonderfully. It's a great tarp. But because this car has, this piece of my car is similar to a roll bar on a Wrangler, on a Jeep Wrangler. And it's steel, so it's magnetic. But the other parts are removable roof, and they're fiberglass, and they're just held on with connectors. They're strong enough connectors. They're not, the roof's not coming off. Although I've heard stories of other people, not having theirs installed right and it coming off. Anyway, so I'm not putting any weight on these, but I can use, they're outdoors. I made these magnetic eye bolt things that are an attachment point for a tarp. So I can use those up in the center of this, closer to my WeBoost antenna, so that I have a center point to attach a tarp to. And then, like the Roadhouse, the Roadhouse, Lumberjack Roadhouse tarp. So, true that, Mary. So this Lumberjack Roadhouse tarp, they make it in camo color or in desert tan, and then they make another one that has a screen on it. The screen one sparked my interest. Anyways, so it needs a center attachment point, which could be my magnets up here, but I want to make one out of my own materials. And I've got the skill to carry this off. So I would love to do something like Cuban fiber, which is like super, super strong, and it weighs not like super lightweight and would pack up into a little tiny package. That'd be like fantastic. I don't even know what a Cuban fiber tarp costs anymore. But a sil nylon tarp or something of that nature. Okay. I want it to have some UV value to it. So having one of those tarps that has like the silver finish on the inside, like some of the golf umbrellas have, and then the color on the top or whatever it is. So what I'm going to do this payday for this expo is I'm going to buy some different length bungee straps, because giving a little give to a tarp allows the wind to not rip it off. If you attach something tightly with a tarp or an awning and it has no give in it, the elastic of like bungee balls or bungee cords allows the give so it doesn't rip it off. And I could use these same attachment points in bungees to even do like a cargo net, which has the little fluttery pieces on it, which is nice too. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I use the attachment point, the magnetic attachment point to start with in the center. And then I get a couple of, so I have a longer bungee to go to the center back so that it pushes my tarp further out the back. because right now the tarp has to start here because I don't have anything long. But with a longer bungee, which is really inexpensive, now that will make the tarp be way back there, which means it gives me space behind that's in the shade. And then I get bungee straps for the corners that are long enough to reach from up near the back down to the wheel well. I mean, to the tire. And then I can wrap them around the tire in order to then have that as another attachment point for this tarp. And then I'm spending a little bit of money, not a horrible amount, but on a couple of adjustable awning poles too for the back. And it's basically because I saw the Roadhouse tarp being used somewhere, and I just went, oh, that's a sexy off-road piece. So I want to go kind of that direction. And so anyways, I can pull that back. And so that will allow me to use the silver tarp I already have, and the wind, because the silver tarp is a loose weave, the wind can go through it. It doesn't rip it off anyway. So I can leave it up day and night, close the back doors, whatever I need to do. And then when I am prepared, then I'll go ahead and get a solid tarp that will have this UV. You know, I've done some research, but I don't know which one I want. Okay. And so I'll get a UV capable that will be better for Baja and give me a lot of space. So that one could be 8 by 16. It could be big, and I might need a couple more poles, awning poles or something. And at some point, I'll be able to stitch, just like in that Roadhouse one, I'll be able to stitch inside some Velcro so that I can then Velcro screen to it, and I can make it a screen room, which will also allow me to then Velcro some side tarps. And if it was cold, I'd be able to enclose it from the wind or from cold. That's what I'm thinking is a really great idea for this rig. So I think that's a good, multi-use. And then any of those pieces can be used for other things because they're still tarps. And I will make sure they have plenty of grommet holes in them so that I can, attach them different, use them. And if I want to put one off the side because it's raining and I want to be able to get in and out and not get wet, I could do that. So that's where I'm aiming with those pieces. And then, I also have decided, rather than having that newer style of mosquito netting that you use like a pillowcase and you stretch them out over a door and pull them down, this car is magnetic enough, steel enough, magnetic enough. I want the magnetic skeeter beater things, or make them myself or whatever, but that are magnetic and that fit these two front windows. Because in this particular situation I'm in, there's some little weird bugs. They aren't harmful. They're not biting. They're just annoying. And they're cute, but they're a little bit annoying. And then every once in a while, there's one of these wasps that wants to fly through, like is in here right now. Going outside. Okay. And it would be nice to be able to kind of screen this off a little bit. And this surface, okay, let me see what you can see. This surface is carpet, both here and in the front over my head. It's carpet. So Velcro, the pointy part of the Velcro, the sharper part of the Velcro, sticks right on there. This is a 23-0 patch. I have a couple of patches up here. And so I'm going to make a few storage things that will just Velcro over the top of those back windows for lightweight things, like the bug stuff. Because so it's easy to read, but like fly papers and mosquito coils, or like my hair ties and stuff, or maybe I have a first aid kit up front. Maybe I'll put another one in the back, but stuff of that nature, something lightweight, maybe a little snack hammock. I don't know, for lightweight snack things. But anyway, so that's another plan for that. But that will free up a lot of all these wires all over the place when I can get a consistent enough extra $150 income coming in monthly. Right now, I had a couple of months I had $110, $120 from YouTube. And then I had $150. And this month I didn't get anything. I didn't earn enough. And it's partly my fault. And I'm not begging. Don't get me wrong. Anybody who wants to help, that's one thing. But when I get a consistent enough extra $150 a month, unless I just change my mind, then and just do it before that, then I want to go get a Verizon MiFi box. The MiFi box will then be sitting in the WeBoost cradle, and then I can decide where that cradle will get mounted when I'm in the car, because when I'm at the cabin, I take it inside at the cabin. So I need that to be movable for now. And then, yeah, so that'll get a home then. And then I won't have all these wiring issues, and I should be able to use the computer to work on it and be able to do these live feeds and figure out editing videos, because I've taken some good videos for y'all, but you haven't seen them yet. So, whew. How am I doing today? You guys getting anything out of this? Sometimes I feel like I'm just going and going and going, but I'm trying to answer your questions too. And I think I'm doing pretty good on answering questions. And we've gone almost 2 hours. Wow. Let me see. I'm going to scroll back through a little bit. My arm's I didn't hit that right. All messenger. Okay, I agree. The magnetic screens at keeping up. Yeah, and because of the metal and the Velcro, I started to say that, got distracted. I'll be able to do a screen and curtain for the back window there, and I'll be able to do a curtain for these side windows as well. I haven't really needed it, except for that night I tried to sleep in the Walmart right underneath the big light, but that's not a real common thing for me. And I have an eye mask from traveling and earplugs, and I've had to use those a couple of times. Have the comments showing about 7 minutes before I say something. Midnight Run Kennel. I see the questions probably a few seconds before you do, but I don't. Usually I'm talking about something and I'm trying to stick it in my mind and finish the thought I'm talking about and then answer you. So there may be some delays. Partly it's human, and partly it's the way this works, that I get to see it for a few seconds before you guys see it on your end. Because there was a day when somebody let me have their phone running. That was a few weeks ago. I had their phone running with the questions on them, but I was seeing the questions before their phone showed them. So, yeah. So, I don't know if that answers how that works, but that's how it works. So, we've got a long time. It's been very hot here during the days. So that's why I'm kind of in this hug in the shade kind of memento, which works. And once the friends left, I moved over here again. They had one of those big 360-degree awnings on theirs, which was wonderful. It was so fun yesterday, sitting around with, laundry hanging under the awnings and filtering water and, just back and forth interacting. It's been really fun. But anyways, I knew to back up close to this tree that's behind me on this side. That tree shades over here comes this, how do I say this? East is in front of my car because the sun comes up over there, and west is behind my car. And because of that, in the afternoon, the shade from this tree comes toward me. So I put the back of the car back here, and then I should have put the silver tarp out, but I didn't have time before you guys were with me, or we would be at the back of the car and I would have been sitting back there. But I was like, the time crunch was too short. So, but I got the car back here. And so between the shade of the car, the shade from the tree, and the little silver tarp that I'll flip over there, I'll be able to have this in like total shade back there this afternoon. So I'll have a good place to sit and read. Oh, speaking of reading, it's out on the table. I'm reading this book about the elephant whisperer that Pixie gave me the last time I bumped into her. She was finished reading it. She goes, "Do you want to read this?" So that was nice. Sometimes going to a garage sale, I pick up a book for a couple of dollars. I used to have a Kindle. I used to do that, but my eyes and the little phone stuff, it's really by everybody's. I've seen lots of people rubbing their eyes after. So I'm trying to be a little better about wearing some reading glasses or not spending. Please don't be there. Thank you, Wasp. Yellow jacket, whatever you are. Yeah, trying to. Okay, you guys, go on. Okay, a lot of yellow jackets right now. Okay. I don't know if I talked enough about camping with the big dogs, but boy, I had a blast. I enjoy that. I enjoy the talking about what's possible, about oh man, I couldn't see myself going up that rock and the tire coming up like this and feeling like the car was going to fall over. I don't want to do that road. And he's like, oh yeah, we do that all the time. I'm like, I don't want to do that road. I'm chicken. I'm a fraidy cat. But I'll do the other road. I'll do the one that goes around the pile of rocks. Well, my car's small enough, I probably can make my own track around the big pile of rocks. But he said one campground they had just been at, or one camping area they had just been at. He goes, yeah, you wouldn't have wanted to do that one. He goes, you could get there, but he goes, I'm not sure you're ready for that. And adding your skill level and what you're comfortable with your skill level. Yeah. So yeah, magnetic hooks and stuff are going to help. Where I'm looking at the possibility, I haven't made a decision on this yet, but I knew about L tracks. You'll have to look that one up. They are on Amazon, so you can look it up on Amazon. L tracks is this channel that's on the floor of an airplane that they can hook seats into, or they can put ratchet straps into to tie motorcycles to and stuff like that. I mean, or big cargo too. And so it's available. It's the first price I saw when I looked it up on Amazon without doing any research to get a good price. I saw something like a foot was $50 or something. I was like, and I asked Jason, and he was like, "Oh no, that's too expensive." I was like, "Okay, so I'll keep looking to find out what I really should be paying if I decide to do that." He and I are kind of having a conversation about how cool it would be to put a piece of powder coated black on the fiberglass on the outside of the car, on just under the window, on the fiberglass, to mount one there, to be useful outside. I could hook my little kitchen package onto that with a little easy in and out connector and just hang my kitchen there. And the way the kitchen's going to be, it's going to be a flip down front on it, so it'll have a work surface on it, and I could just cook on it right on the side of the car. That would be a nice option and not have to have a table. And then if I had the same L track in white and put it on this metal part right here, or silver, but put it on the metal part of my car, on the frame of the car right here, it would allow me to carry those things on the inside and use that space above my wheel well. My wheel well has quite a slant to it. It would allow me to use that without having to build something strange, or whatever. And it would allow me that Legoland thing of I'm using it for this today and I'll use it for that tomorrow or whatever. And so it's an idea I'm really tossing around. I haven't decided because it means drilling into things. And so I have to be prepared. I have to be able to have enough money saved to do that job if it's the right thing to do. And I'm also kind of looking for a little idea about how I could more easily carry trash and firewood if I wanted to. And of course, in my size, right? Or if I wanted to carry charcoal, and I don't want to carry a big bag, but I don't want the charcoal inside the car with me. And where would I carry that? And to me, it kind of screams some kind of hitch haul basket, but I don't want to bring a big hitch haul basket. The one I currently have at home, it weighs 45 pounds because it's made out of steel. And I just feel like, and I don't need that large a space. I feel like I could have something more lightweight. So Jason and I talked over a couple of things. He was telling me a couple of things that they have at the their home base in Pennsylvania, and he was saying, "I have that thing. I bet I could take that and I could make this thing, and we could do that. You want me to do that?" And I was like, "Let me think about it. Let me run that through. Let me, some of the things you're saying would be great." But I want to think it through and make sure I'm making a good decision before I do that. Because I do like standing at the back of the car to do some things and access things. That's a very comfortable thing to do, even though the door hits me right about there. So, it's watch the head bump thing. But so we'll be working on that. Oh, what else we got? Any more questions, y'all? Okay. Ooh, uptown idea. What was the uptown idea? I missed that. um, okay. Anyways, I don't see any okay. I don't see any questions that I didn't get answered today. I love you guys. I am so grateful that you come here on Sunday mornings and spend an hour-ish with me. This was a long one today. No, I'm not uncomfortable with the mic today. Some days I'm like, yeah, let's 45 minutes to an hour, people. But oh, yeah, I know. I can overwhelm people. I don't mean to, but I'm glad that you can take it at your own speed. Watch a little bit, don't watch. And some of my old videos had some pretty cool ideas. I think I ought to do some more solo cooking videos again. Jason and Melinda seem to be really impressed with my skill level and knowledge. Oh, the update. Yeah, the playing with the screens. Yeah, I agree. I so agree. I after seeing that other one, I was like, yeah, because the add a room things and the things that are mounted on the outside of vehicles, it adds weight. You got to have a different structure to install them. This allows me to maneuver and keep my weight low, so I can keep this gas mileage as good as I can. And that's it. I want that. I need that, because even though y'all are generous out here, and I am not complaining, do not take this wrong, please. People are so generous and kind to me, but I'm not trying to get you to pay for my life. My life's my responsibility, and that's that piece of radical independence I'm into. My life's my problem. And my responsibility. And so I'm going to do the most I can by myself. But anywhere where I can keep my expenses down keeps me in charge of the freedom. Meetups. So, Meetups is a piece of software name, in case you don't know that. I used to do GTGs, which is an abbreviation for get-togethers. Somebody in some community, or nomad community somewhere, got mad at me for how dare I take the GTG thing. I didn't take it. I just was using an abbreviation. Anyways, so if you're asking me, could you meet up with me maybe in October? That's very possible. My current travel plans as of today, this can change at any moment. So don't hold me to this. But as of today and right this moment, I am leaving this campsite and doing some town day stuff on Wednesday this week. Depending on how much I get accomplished on Wednesday and how tired I am, I might stealth camp in town. There's a couple of places on the Iowa Overlander app and even listed on Google Maps that are okay in this particular area. So I'll do what I can, either camp, stealth camp, or if I feel like I need to, I'll come back out to this campground. But this is about 15, 10, I don't know, 15, 12 or 15 miles outside of town. So if I need to, I'll come out here. If I feel like I need to spend a couple of days or I need the calm, you know, get me back near the water thing, this is a comfortable place to be. And this is on my route to go where I'm headed. So then I will be aiming for not using avoiding all highways and aiming for Loveland, Colorado. Now, I'm probably only going to go a couple hundred miles and find a place to stay overnight. And then my kind of new pattern that is feeling good to me at this stage of time in time is to make sure that on Friday, if I need to get any more refrigerated things for my Friday night dinner, which is the beginning of Sabbath for me, I often like to have, if I'm going to have meat, like a chunk of meat, not fish, I would have the meat Friday night and I would have a glass of red wine if I can maneuver that or if I feel comfortable with that. And so it would be a meat and vegetable, maybe grill it on a fire thing, would be my Friday night meal, because to me, that's bringing in Sabbath. And then the next day is Sabbath. So I want to be set up in camp before I make that dinner and then chill all the next day. And like no work, go for a walk, watch birds, be lazy, you know. It's my Sabbath day. Take a Sabbath rest, right? And I often want to like eat salad and not even cook. I have this Saturday night dinner, and then the next day I like to have a nice big salad and not cook. And then maybe for dinner Saturday night, as Sabbath is ending, I will maybe make an omelet for dinner. That's a real common Sabbath pattern for me. And then Sunday, it's the first of the week for me, so I'm starting to, plan what's my week, what do I want to do, where do I want to go, if I haven't already thought of it. And so I'll be, after this weekend will be a little, because payday's Wednesday, it might be a little weird, but so I'll do the town day. I might do a stealth camping day. Then I might stop back through here. I don't know. I might go another couple hundred miles east toward Colorado and be partway on that trip. And I will check the maps for, is there a place where I might be able to go so that I can have that comfortable Sabbath. It's a thing that one of my friends, Aaron, is really good at, and I have appreciated his example over the years that he keeps Sabbath that way. Now, he's Seventh-day Adventist, no big deal to me, but his example just has been on my mind for a long time, and I've started to practice that a little better. And it makes it more routine, makes it something I'm looking forward to, that Friday night I'm going to be somewhere and put a piece of meat on the grill. And, so I'm going to have a fire, and I want to be comfortable, and I want to have plenty of water, and I want to have already had my bath and washed my hair, and then just rest. So any travel I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do it by a Thursday. And then so Friday morning, I would be like getting to a campsite and setting up kind of thing if I needed to. That's kind of the plan. So I'm aiming toward Loveland. That event in Loveland is like the third week in August, the 24th or 6th or something like that. And that's another expo. And then after that event, I think the wisest thing for me to do is to make my way toward home. And so in September or September, October, I should be around my home base area more. So yes, is it possible? Absolutely. But by Thanksgiving, I should be further south. If I want to avoid snow at my property, I need to do Thanksgiving away from home. So by Thanksgiving or early December, I should be headed for more southerly stuff. I won't know my plans about going to Baja yet. I have some people that I may travel near and camp near over the winter in Baja, but I need to have more conversations with them. I don't have enough planning on it. So I can't share any more than I can't wait and I'm excited. But I need to look that over even better. And I have turned in my passport renewal. Not that that's a necessity, but I did pass it in. I've needed to do that. So, whew, I'm ended it, guys. I'm done. I need more drink. I have water here, but I need more drink. I haven't had my electrolytes yet this morning. I've been trying to. The first drink of the morning is, at least a bottle or my green drink jug bottle of electrolytes first thing. This one's got tea in it right now, but I usually am trying to do that. So made him break out and around. There you go. So I will see y'all next week for a Chevy Tracker Travels update, I guess. And I might start doing some more stuff with Instagram. I don't know. I know I'm a little all over the place still, but I'm finding okay, there's an old term. Some of you'll know it, some of you won't. I'm finding my sea legs again, so I don't know. But I love it out here. I'm having such a good time. And you should have seen me the day I had my bath and in the creek down there. I'm like, I feel so good. Yeah. It's different than having a bath. And it's not a shower. It's not, there's a different feel to it. And of course, I have my Dr. Bronner's soap. Some people are using, okay, so it's interchangeable. Camp Suds, Dr. Bronner's, Myers. Myers is one of the bigger companies. It's their branded for eco people stuff, but it is a larger company. So I like it. I like some of the flavors of the dish soaps. The smells are great. Isn't there a lemon verbena one or something that I think smells really good? But you know what? But I did use some soap because I was stinky. It was sweaty here in the high 90s in the thing. So have a wonderful, yeah. Yes, and Mary, if you're sorting and you're, whatever, don't forget, come out on the community thing on one of my, like even the weekly announcements things that I put out here on, hey, I'm going to be live in a little bit. Use that space to talk to me if you need to. Or you can use my email address, but it depends on, but I don't mind doing the email, but if I answer you in something that somebody else could see, it might help them, unless it's a sensitive subject and you need the privacy, then go ahead and email me. But use those weekly, hey, I'm going to be on. Use those spaces to, ask me more questions. And sometimes I don't do it every day, but I'll get out there. So, but I'm taking a little rethink about doing Patreon. And I'm trying to understand whether I can do the same kind of thing to improve my income using YouTube. And if I can do that, I may just stick with YouTube for the simplicity factor because I don't need 6 or 8 things going on. I don't work for a reason, and I'm old enough to be retired, but I don't work for a reason. And if it's too much like work, why am I doing it? Yeah. So I'll see y'all next week. You have a wonderful one. This is the longest goodbye. Y'all have a great week. And we'll see what I get done.